Hi, I'm Kat from Oh Hi DIY. Thanks for tuning into my video. This video is a first impressions video of this stuff, which is the NIOD Photography Fluid in 8% opacity. So, NIOD is a Deciem brand, so if you've heard of The Ordinary, they're also by Deciem, so it's the same kind of parent company. I love The Ordinary stuff. And I have tried a couple of bits of NIOD stuff before, and I saw this when I was looking for primers on ASOS and thought it sounded pretty interesting, but there isn't actually a lot of stuff out there about it, so I thought it'd be useful to kind of film a video about it, share it with you guys so you can kind of see it at the same time as me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read you a little bit about it from the ASOS website and kind of show you what made me buy it in the first place. So NIOD stands for, so it's NIOD, it stands for Non-Invasive Options in Dermal Science. It may be pronounced NIOD, but I say NIOD, so deal with that. So, Photography Fluid by NIOD, it has a serum texture, so it's kind of lightweight. It's supported by photo finishing technologies. It offers skin radiance specifically through a camera lens. Useful, filming videos, etc. It blacks out red tones and minimises yellow tones. You can apply it instead of liquid foundation, so you know, kind of a primer sort of substance. It contains, sorry, the dog's barking again, every video. It contains a hint of translucent tan for natural looking radiance. It can be used under, over or mixed with liquid foundation. It comes with a pipette for easy application. A lot of the NIOD and Ordinary stuff comes with a pipette. And it's oil and fragrance free formula, so that's good for me because my skin is super oily. As you can see, I have no sort of base on at the minute. I have done my eyes because I went swimming earlier and had to see people, so made a bit of an effort. That sounds stupid, doesn't it, that I went swimming with makeup on, but my face doesn't go under the water, etc, and I don't like to look rubbish. Yeah. I did have eyelash extensions, and for January I'm just leaving them off to give my eyelashes a bit of a time to recover because they were falling off left, right and centre, so I feel a bit sensitive about my eyes because usually I have the fake eyelashes so I don't need to bother too much with makeup, but without them I'm putting it on. Anyway, I've waffled on about that far long enough. Anyway, I've got no base on, I've got my eyes on. I've got fresh skin, so you can see what my skin is naturally like. So I am prone to acne, so you might be able to see a few little red patches of spots that are going. You can see that actually my skin is shiny, so even, this is dry, it's clean, it doesn't feel greasy, but even when it's totally clean, like my forehead has a shine to it and other bits of my face, which is not ideal. So that's why I'm looking for new primers, why I'm looking for new makeup all the time, and that is why we're here today. So let's open it. So it comes, you can see, in this box. So it's got these little symbols down the side, which I will add on because right off the top of my head I don't know what they all stand for, so I'll edit that into the video later. It's sealed for security, you can see on there. Ingredients down the other side, so it's in a nice little box, it's presented nicely, you know, like monochrome, so I'm easily swayed by that. So let's get into it. Obviously I've got massive false nails and it's tricky to do that, so take that off. So obviously it's like security sealed, so you can't return it for hygiene reasons, so this is mine now. So obviously you're coming out that way. Oops, could have showed you the other side, which was, let's do this properly. There you go, bring it out and the bottle's in there, don't spill it. So then it is just a little bottle, like I say, with a pipette. So let's apply it. So what I'm going to do for applying it is that I am going to put it on with a beauty blender and with a brush and with my fingers, just to see the difference, because I find that foundations vary quite dramatically with how they look depending on how you apply it, and different foundations need to be applied in different ways. I know it's not a foundation, it's a primer, but it has that sort of essence, so I'm just gonna see. So I have got here a damp beauty blender, I've got a foundation buffing brush, and obviously I've got my fingers, and the photography fluid. So this comes in 2 opacities, 8 and 12% I think, but the 12% is quite a lot more pigmented, and if you look at the pictures of it, if you look at the box, I think it was the box, this formula can use, no that's not it, it can be used alongside PF photography fluid opacity 12% to create a semi-translucent contouring effect. So you can use them both together, but I think the 12% one is either for darker skin or for contouring with this one, and I, as you can see, have not got a tan or anything like that at the minute, so go with the paler one. Okay, so I'm going to put my cat ears on to keep my hair out my face, because even though it's much shorter, I don't want it in the makeup. Alright, so we'll start with just showing you what the consistency is like. So there it is, and you can see what colour it is there, and it's very liquidy. It is not thick at all. So again, like a serum, like it says I guess on the box. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of this into the palm of my hand. The pipette isn't working as well as I would expect. I've had to, it seems to get stuck over the end. So you need to make sure the pipette's open for it to suck up. That's a bit of a nuisance. Might need a clean. So yeah, not ideal because you can't get it out properly. Anyway, you can get it off the side of the pipette, it's fine. So there it is in my hand. I think what I'm going to do first is try and apply it with my fingers, because it is kind of my preferred method of putting stuff on. It seems to rub in a bit better because I've got oily skin. If it's too thick on my face, it kind of, the oil separates it from my face and it kind of sits on top and looks really weird. So you can kind of get in there a bit better with your fingers. So just doing my forehead, giving it a good rub in, so you can see already, I'm hoping, the tan. So it's definitely browner than my face, but in kind of a nice way. It doesn't, at this point to me, look super orange. It does look quite brown, although it is quite dark. So on my face there, I've got quite a bit of loose skin in between my eyes, so I don't want it to sit there. Okay, so rubbed in really well on the face, looks alright. It is fully translucent. This is not foundation, do you know what I mean? It's not going to cover any spots or blemishes, so if that's what you're after, this would probably be for under foundation and not on its own, but anyway. Okay, so next, let me see if I can get any more of this out. Not really. I'm going to try and use it with the brush. So I've got my Spectrum B1 foundation buffing brush. So I've got this as part of a set. It's like a travel bag. It's called Jet Setter, I think, a travel set, but it's small brushes, but they are full-size heads, so it's really good. Okay, so I'll do one cheek with this. I've just rubbed it around my palm and then buff it over. It doesn't spread so well with the brush. God, this is quite, when you say tan, I don't know if you can, so forehead and this side is all done, and then this side very pale. I don't know if you can see because of the light, but when I'm looking in, I've got a mirror down here, when I'm looking in the mirror, it's quite brown. You can see my hand there is sparkly, so it does have a bit of shimmer in it. So then we've done that, and then next let's just try the beauty blender. So the brush has put it on quite well. It doesn't actually sit thickly on the face, and it spreads quite easily, which is good. Let's try it with the beauty blender. So like I say, this is damp, and we'll just kind of rub it on. So I think it is water-based, this, well it must be because it says it's not got any oil in it. So the beauty blender might actually dilute it. I don't know, don't really know how that works. I'm doing under there with it. So yeah, to me, this side's a bit lighter, I don't know if you can see, and it's a bit more watery, so actually I probably wouldn't recommend doing it with the beauty blender. Also, you can kind of see, so look at the difference in my hand now when using this, because it's just sucked it all up because it's a sponge. So probably not the best. So what I'm going to do is kind of fingers and brush were about the same. I'm just going to got a bit extra on the tip of my finger that I hadn't noticed. I'm just going to buff that onto this side just to even me out, because I don't want to be lopsided. So let's have a little look now we've finished. Right, so I'm definitely a lot darker in the face, but it is actually a lot more like fake tan than it is anything else. It's a lot more, because it's translucent, it doesn't look like I've got makeup on, although I am obviously quite a darker shade of brown, but it looks like tan rather than makeup, which I do quite like actually, because I hate looking like I've caked makeup on. Like I say, this isn't going to cover spots for you. There's, like you can still see down here, and look, I've got acne scars, so you can still see them. So if you're bothered about that, you're going to have to wear foundation over it. You just are. But as a base for if you don't want to wear foundation, this is not bad, and actually I'm quite happy with this tan. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put my normal makeup on over it, just to see how it works as a base. That is it. So this is my makeup done. Take the cat ears off because I don't need to wear those. Hair's a bit of a mess because, like I say, we've been swimming, so it got wet. But this is it. This is my, let me just check in the old mirror. I do look quite tanned. So we just have a little look at face to body. It's not too bad actually. I don't know if in the camera, I did go on the sunbed the other day, so my body's slightly brown and my face doesn't go brown as quickly. So actually there's not a drastic amount of difference to my body. So I'm not hating this. I am not hating it. I am browner than normal, but I'm not hating it. So what I'm going to do is, I've now put my full face on. It is lunchtime, it's not first thing in the morning, but what I will do is I will film an update later on today to let you know how it's got on, how it's lasted, and we'll see kind of what we think then. Okay, so you will notice that I'm wearing a different outfit, I've got different makeup on, and this is not the same day as the other bit of the video. I forgot to film later on in the day, and then it had gone dark and the lighting wasn't the same, etc. So we are now 2 days later. So good news is that I've been wearing the photography fluid for 2 days now, and I've worn it to work. So I put it on about 7 o'clock this morning. Now it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So you can see how it lasts. So it is more of an instant tan for your face than kind of a foundation or concealer sort of substitute. Even to an extent, a primer. It does act as a good base. You can put your makeup on top of it, but it doesn't have any coverage. So it does. Its main effect is that it gives you a bit more of a glow. It's not mattifying, definitely not mattifying, so you will need to use powder or whatever on the top. You can see that I am pretty shiny. But actually I do really like it. I really like the kind of glow that it gives my face. It's not too orange. It does match my skin tone. And it does just make me look generally a little bit healthier and a bit more summery. So I'm quite a big fan of it actually. It lasts pretty well. It doesn't really go patchy or anything like that. It's still there at the end of the day. Even with my oily skin, which was kind of a concern that, you know, the oil had come out and it had come off, and it doesn't, it lasts. So yeah, on the whole, my first impressions of, although this is second or third impressions technically, but it was still the same week, it's still new. My first impressions of the photography fluid are that it's definitely worthwhile. It is a good purchase, and yeah, it goes on nicely, it looks nice, and if you just want a little bit more of a sun-kissed glow, it's the one for you. It is still quite pigmented, like I say, when I put it on, it is quite brown, so I think the 12% you couldn't use it all over your face unless you had a much darker skin tone. But definitely worth a try, I do like it. And as an update on the pipette, yesterday a sort of solidish lump came out of it, and now it works perfectly, so it just needed a little bit of a clean because it had obviously settled in there while it's been in the bottle. So yeah, now all working fine, going on easily. I prefer, from the last few days, I prefer putting it on with a brush even to my fingers because it just evens it out a bit nicer. So yeah, that's my pro tip. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's been a good one for you and maybe encouraged you to give it a try yourself. If you have enjoyed it, please leave me a comment, like and subscribe. If there's anything else you'd like me to try to give some my first impressions on, then hit me up and let me know, and I'll be back soon with another video. Thanks so much for watching.